neglectful parenting devalues the critical importance of sacrifice, beginning with breastfeeding, and how the sacrifice eventually calls for greater sacrifice of emotions, which is the sacrifice of not wanting your child to like you. Strong parents are willing to upset their children to promote their growth. Okay, so that was like a 3-part. So let's address the first one. Neglectful parenting devalues the critical importance of sacrifice, beginning with breastfeeding.
Right. So this is important because if we can, let's just take it back to what we did before technology came around. The only way we could feed our children was breastfeeding. So it wasn't an option. That's all you had was to breastfeed. And it is a sacrifice. It was meant to be a sacrifice, like I said, because there was none of this other technology that we have to make it easier on us to breastfeed, right? So that was a sacrifice that was needed, and that was integral into the relationship between the child and the mother. Removing that aspect is a level of rejecting the sacrifice that's needed. It's needed for being a mother. It's needed.
It's not optional. It's
not optional. Same thing with labor. Child labor is supposed to sacrifice the woman's body to give life. And when you say, give me the drugs so I don't have to feel this sacrifice. I don't have to do the sacrifice. What we're saying is those sacrifices are needed for healthy bonded children to their mothers, to the society, to the world. You have to give something in order to receive something whole. And if you neglect natural child labor, if you neglect breastfeeding, those sacrifices that are needed, your child is going to be bond damaged. And if you won't sacrifice that first thing, which is labor and breastfeeding, you won't sacrifice anything.
And I would even say, if you want to find out what a group of people value, find out what they sacrifice for. If you find out what they sacrifice for, and that'll tell you what they value. So how many parents we know sacrifice extra hours at work so they can buy their kids Christmas gifts? How many people we know will sacrifice so many days at work just so they can pay off their rent, or just so they can pay off their car note? So we understand sacrifice when it's in the service of our enemies. But what we need to learn is sacrifice in the service of ourselves. All of this together, these points that we're making them again because we understand that until we stabilize the parent-child relationship, we will never stabilize our nations. And the parent-child relationship, that begins with the complementary relationship between the man and woman. Because what the man is supposed to do is he's supposed to make the woman conscious of her power as a mother before she has the child, because he's telling her that she has that spiritual power to give life. You see? So once that energy is awakened, then it's our job as men to protect her in her space so that she can distribute and give vitality to the things around her.
To the children.